Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alfanium. I hope you're all having a good Memorial Day out there. I hope you're having a good day overall, wherever you may be. So we're going to start here with this article. It's on U.Today, and it's titled, Ripple versus SEC XRP Sales Dilemma Unraveled by Legal Expert. Let's read this little tidbit here. It says, renowned legal expert Jeremy Hogan discussed secondary market sales of XRP and Ripple's battle with the SEC on Twitter. Hogan believes that resolving this issue is crucial for XRP's relisting on exchanges and determining its security classification. Well, I'll say this personally, and then we'll read a little bit more of this article here. Very well written article, I might add. I'm not concerned with relisting whatsoever. You've seen Uphold bragging on Twitter about them being the only ones who have XRP listed, something like that. I think the other day there were a few more exchanges, one or two, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, I'm just going off the top of my head. A few more exchanges have either been trying to list XRP or have listed XRP, something like that. All right. So, I mean, if the people want XRP, there's ways for them to come into having and obtaining XRP. So I'm not really concerned with that. Then on top of that, once again, XRP is meant to move that big money. It's meant to move that bank money. Trillions, quadrillions. That's what it's made to do. I'm not saying that's what it's going to do. I hope that's what it's going to do. That's what the trajectory looks like it could do over time, but it's there to move that big money. So once again, I have to say, I'm not really concerned about it being listed on exchanges, although a lot of people do want that to happen. I can respect that 100%. But what I believe that XRP needs is for that large amount of capital to begin to flow into it. So now let's continue on here. All right. It says, although the language used by the SEC in the lawsuit implies that XRP itself is a security akin to a share of stock. Well, let me pause there as well. My apologies. But I thought before that the legal precedent set in the LBRY case, where LBRY in the secondary market is not considered by the courts to be securities, right, or security sales, however you want to phrase that, wouldn't that apply to all of the different cryptocurrencies that are utility coins, right? So wouldn't that also have an impact on XRP? Now, don't get me wrong. I think everything will be ironed out as this case proceeds, right? We still have a little bit of a ways to go. However, I would think that precedent has a huge impact. But let's continue on here. It says, the court documents do not explicitly request this classification for the asset, leading the attorney to dismiss such a notion as absurd. The challenge lies in the fact that the presiding judge may not address the issue, as it has not been explicitly raised by the plaintiff, while one could argue that the omission indirectly addresses it. This is what we were hearing a few months ago. The fact that they're not actually attacking on that angle. They're attacking, correct me if I'm wrong, in the way that the initial sales were sold, of XRP were sold as securities, something like that. Right? But they're not attacking XRP directly, at least that's not how it has been perceived for quite some time. I'm going by what I read from lawyers months ago. My apologies to everyone if I'm not eloquent. But you all know the story. It says the impact on exchanges remains uncertain. However, Hogan believes there is reason for hope. As I said before, I don't understand. I mean, Uphold is there and there's ways to acquire XRP. It says one potential solution is for Ripple to secure an agreement with the SEC to exclude the issue from the final judgment, or the judge could approve language proposed by Ripple to that effect, similar to what was allowed in the KIK Interactive case. Let me pause there again. So, I mean, when I look at what's important to me, when I'm hoping that we're going to take a huge swath of that bank money, Ripple is just going to buy the XRP that it needs and then, hand it to the banks for the use, if they're going to use payment channels like you can do on XRPL, which with payment channels, you can only use XRP. You can look that up, right? We showed the screenshots of that. But yeah, so I don't see the problem there. I mean, I guess it's for retail. If retail just for some reason just absolutely does not want to buy their XRP on Uphold, they just want to get it somewhere else or on any other exchange that may sell XRP. I'm not sure. So let's read this a little bit here. It says, alternatively, the judge might consider concerns raised by various parties, including XRP holders represented by Attorney Deaton regarding secondary sales. The LBRY case provides some precedent for addressing the issue. Hey, that's exactly what I was saying before. That's what I'm saying. So they sort of addressed it in that way. I mean, I think that could be applied to almost all of these utility coins. And XRP has much more utility than the LBRY token. All right, so now let's move on here to another article, all right? Okay, so this article here is from finbold.com, and it is titled, XRP to the Moon? Pro Ripple lawyer expects FOMO to kick in at this price. All right, let's see what he's talking about. I do expect FOMO to kick in at some point. It's not something that I personally care about whatsoever. Like I said, we're here for that bank money, not retail. We can get retail money anywhere. I mean, like, there's so many projects that can pop off and explode. And if you want retail money, that's where you go. XRP is the big money. Don't get me wrong. We will take all the money that we can get. But let me tell you something. Those trillions from the bank are more than enough. Of course, it's going to take some years to build up. I hope everything happens quickly. But the bank money is what I'm here for. The bank money is what's important. The bank money is what's going to get everyone. Taking their money is what's going to get everyone to generational wealth if we're going to get there. Non-banking financial institutions, the banks, any other, tokenization of everything, pretty much, the commodities. Listen, that's what's going to get us to the big money, in my humble opinion. But let's read this little tidbit here. It says, in the ongoing legal tussle between Ripple and the United States SEC, prominent Ripple advocate and lawyer expert John Deaton recently veered from legal discourse to offer insightful commentary on XRP's current pricing dynamics. Taking to Twitter on May 29th, Deaton expressed his astonishment at the prevailing market conditions, asserting that it is inconceivable for many investors to overlook the opportunity to acquire XRP. Yeah, but why is that on your mind? That is not on my mind at all. I don't even think about retail when it comes to regular investors, when it comes to XRP at all. Unless there's like thousands coming together, sort of like what they did in South Korea, and they come together where there's enough capital where if they purchase XRP, they're sort of like a small company. They're all working together to pump the price. And that's just a tiny little pump. That's a tiny little pump. That's what I'm saying. It's insignificant in my humble opinion. I mean, others may disagree, and I can respect that 100%. But that's not going to get us where we want to be. It's not. So I don't even think about retail at all. It says here, but let's continue on. It says, inconceivable for many investors to overlook the opportunity to acquire XRP while its price remains at a mere 48 cents per unit. I can respect that way of thinking here, but here's what I know. The people who really believe in XRP, and they're here to the end to really see that big number come, if ever it is to come. This is not financial advice, but if it is ever to come, they have all the XRP that they really need. Anything else is bonus. When they're loading up, that's bonus. And I'll say this also, just, having contact with a lot of people have left. They've left the bank coins. They're done for. They're gone. Okay. They've left XLM. They've left XRP. So the ones who are here, I've said this before, the ones who are here are the hardcore diamond hand supporters. They have all the XRP that they need. Others, they don't believe in the bank coins in that way. They're into other projects, Cardano, Bitcoin, and those projects stand to do well. So the group that we have here, I believe, and yes, FOMO will kick in, I believe, but I think what I'm looking at when I think of FOMO, okay, let me clarify. When I think of FOMO, I think about the small banks. When I think of FOMO, I think about the businesses that sat on the outside and then they'll jump in when the time is right, when there's an ending to the case or regulatory clarity, something like that. That's what I think about when I think about FOMO. So once again, so you can see where my mind is. My mind is on hunting that whale, that white whale, like Captain Ahab. We're on the high seas and we're on the hunt. And I'm keeping my eye on the prize. I'm staying focused on what can move that price to a high place. Just my humble opinion. There's no guarantees, but that's what I'm focused on. It says, Deaton elaborated on this sentiment emphasizing the potential ramifications of failing to recognize XRP's current under evaluation. I think everybody that knows about XRP understands. I do. And some people are positioning themselves to acquire a great deal later, and they're comfortable with that. The price, you got to understand, to people who where the price matters, like I said, I think they have everything that they feel comfortable having and what they need. My apologies if I'm not eloquent at this particular time. But those others who will get in later, price is nothing to them. It goes up to $1. That's nothing to them. As I said before, I'll reiterate. When I was in the stock market, and I'm going to tell you again, this is serious business. When I was in the stock market, there's a group of investors, they hate anything that's less than $1. They would laugh at you, even though we made some disgusting gains with those stocks that were that were around $1. Disgusting. They didn't care. Money is nothing to them. Now, those are the ones who will wait, and yeah, they'll buy at $1 because it's nothing. That's dirt cheap for them. But those are not the ones you have to worry about, right? At all. It says here, what's even more crazy, and to finish Mr. Deaton's quote, what's even more crazy is that FOMO won't likely kick in until $2. Yes, exactly. But like I said, I think that just from my experience, that's going to be a lot of big money people who don't take notice of things until it's at a reasonable, not a reasonable price, but like what they consider to be a respectable price. I think it's going to happen. It's happened before. I think it's going to happen again. And they're not going to stay in for long because they don't believe in XRP the way that diamond hand holders believe. It says here, amidst the legal turbulence of surrounding Ripple, Deaton's observations shed light on the speculative opportunities that lie within XRP's pricing landscape, noting that the fear of missing out effect may not take hold until XRP surpasses the $2 mark. Well, I'll say this also. The fear outright is also going to keep people from XRP, XLM, any of the bank coins. And I'll tell you why. Because a lot of the information that they have been told over and over and over again, and it has conditioned their minds, has been negative. They've only heard that XRP supports CBDCs. CBDCs, obviously, a lot of people view them as negative. I'm not saying that they're positive. I just want to take the bank's money. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to take the bank's money. But because of that association, they're going to stay away from XRP. We see this in comment sections all the time. The people come in, they say, well, you're supporting XRP, or so you're supporting CBDCs. How could you? And it's like, well, no, we're not supporting the banks and the CBDCs. No, we're trying to take the bank's money. And then once you have that wealth or those riches, you can do what you see fit with it. You can rearrange your life. You can help the people, help your family. You know, it's a money play. But that mentality, that way of thinking is going to keep people away from XRP. So I'm just throwing that out there, right? I'm unfolding the psychology of this as I'm reading this. A very interesting article here. It says, as the Ripple versus SEC saga unfolds, market analysis and investors alike eagerly await further developments cognizant of the potential impact of XRP's value and the subsequent implications for the broader cryptocurrency market. All right, so now let's scroll down, see if they have a little bit more. All right, they go into a lot of the pricing and such. So now let's move on to another article here. All right. Hey, listen, I hope everybody out there, I hope, everyone's showing you love today. I hope you're showing someone else some love today. If not, show yourself some love and, take it easy in the night, ease your mind. I hope everything is going good for you. All right. Okay. I want to make sure I show the love to everybody out there right now, while I can, and tell you that I hope the best for you no matter what. So now here's an article from forexlive.com. We're going to end off with this one here. And it's titled, "The IMF has told the Federal Reserve to hike more and quickly, and then hold them high." My word, I told you, didn't I say it? I don't know if they're going to follow this, but I told you it was coming. They have to. They don't have a choice. Here we go. Let's read this little tidbit. It says, the report said that the Fed's 10 interest rate hikes since last March may not be enough. Didn't I say it? Haven't I been telling you? I told you. Let's keep it going. It says may not be enough to bring down inflation to the Fed's 2% target. IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva followed up with a press conference offering advice to the Federal Open Market Committee, the FOMC. First bullet point, quote, inflation remains stubbornly high. PCE is telling us that the job is not quite done yet. Frankly, we need to continue to follow the data and see how much it would take to bring inflation to target. Says also had comments on the banking crisis, warning that, first bullet point, unquote, unrealized losses. Haven't I been talking about this? You know what's interesting? I was having an actual conversation with somebody in person the other day, and I was telling them about these unrealized losses and how devastating it's going to be when that comes to, all of that rears its ugly head. But let's read this little tidbit here. It says, quote, unrealized losses from holdings of long duration securities would increase in both banks and non-banks, and the cost of a new financing for both households and corporates could become unmanageable, unquote. Next bullet point, quote, such a tightening of financial conditions could trigger an increase in bankruptcies. Didn't we also cover a few articles about a month ago about a tsunami of bankruptcies that may be coming later this year? These are catalysts people have to watch out for. Now, maybe nothing happens, but I like to prepare just in case. So I'm not caught off guard. At least I like to prepare, at the least, to have that knowledge. So that way, if anything does occur, I can take the proper precautionary measures. But yes, we covered a few articles about a tsunami of bankruptcies. And it says here, and worsen credit quality. All right. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.